It's a beautiful Wednesday morning and we are up bright, shining, full of life and everything in between. Today we are crushing on the gorgeous ladies that have been announced as Miss Namibia Top 20 finalists for the year 2024. I am seated here with Diana Master, who is gracing our presence. And before we chat to her, I would just like for you to engage us in the comment sections and let us know who are you rooting for this year. I know that there are 20 girls and then that 20 will be cut down to 10, that 10 to 5 and that 5 to 2, and those two will be the queens that are going to represent Namibia internationally. Ultimately, those two will be cut down to one.
Crazy.
One person who is going to be the official Miss Namibia. How are you doing?
Wow, only now. I'm fine. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Who are you rooting for?
I don't know yet.
Are you waiting for the top 10?
I'm waiting for the top 10, but so far I'm rooting for a mutual friend. Like you know that person, you know that Aina knows this person, but you never really had like an interaction with her.
Yeah.
So I'm voting for her.
Is this Hazel?
Yes, of course.
Hazel is a doctor and actress.
Yes.
Oh wow, good for her. With this year, there are a lot of comeback queens.
Oh.
There are a lot of, I think around about 7 of them are returning comeback queens. I wonder if the competition is going to take in consideration that these are people who have probably worked on themselves and are back to try and prove themselves and the organizers wrong, or they're just going to stick to their old guts and be like, no, you are not Miss Namibia material, and we are not choosing you.
I think they will definitely just stick to, like, it's like, do you have what we're looking for? If not, sorry. Who cares if this is your 700th time? You still don't have what we're looking for. It is what it is. This is why I quit pageantry. Pageantry is a cutthroat world.
Yes.
And also just that thing of people dictating how beautiful you are. Like for me,
beauty is so subjective.
It's very subjective. So for me, I didn't like what it did to my self-esteem.
Right.
Like you win, but then also at the same time, just that anxiety of being up there. They've now announced the top 3 and now you're standing there. And that anxiety, and it's like, oh my goodness. Like, I do not miss that anxiety because also you don't really know what these people are looking for. You just have to give your very best, and sometimes your best is just not good enough.
Yeah. No, it's a very heartbreaking experience, especially yes, and I know that people say try again and try again. Sometimes it's not worth it. Sometimes you can try a million times and it's not for you. Sometimes I think you need just discernment. You need a lot of discernment.
You need to know when to stop.
You need to just know, if I do it once, is it for me? Is it not for me? You need to study the criteria of whatever you're applying for. You need to do like a background research. These are the previous winners. This is how they won. Do I have these things?
Like an analysis, basically.
Yes. Do I not? Lest you go waste your resources.
And I think, and also pageantry is very expensive. It's a lot of money that goes in that you don't necessarily get back. Right? So I think, like you're saying, discernment is absolutely very important. Yes, sometimes you do it once and you're like, nah, I feel like I could have done something, and then you go back. That's fine. But then also, discernment works when you know when to stop.
Yes.
Like, I think that's how you mature. You need to know when to stop and when to quit. Like, sometimes you could be like, you know what, I'm not going to quit. And then it comes to a point where you're like, you know what, this is just not for me. And you not give up, but you stop.
You let it go.
You let it go.
And I think that's the power that we as humans hold. The ability for you to know when to stop, when to let go. That is actually very, very powerful. Yesterday I was having a conversation with my friend and she said to me, your ability, your lack of discernment rather will cost you a lot in this life.
Yes.
You need to discern. Let's say you have this big breakthrough and then now you have 3 friends you don't know which friend is for you and which friend is against you.
Yeah.
So now you come, Chomi, my breakthrough. You share all this news with these 3 friends of yours, and then one does something maybe to jinx it. So now that the fact that you could not discern in that moment now has cost you your breakthrough.
And you know, even just that jinxing, sometimes it's not even intentional. Sometimes it's just your friend being like, but why did she get it and not me? That already is a jinx. And when we're talking about discernment, we're not just talking pageantry. If you read between the lines, you'd know that we're referring to literally everything. A job, a relationship, whatever it may be, a dream. You just need to know when to stop. You need to discern when to stop. But hey, we're spitting wisdom these days on STC.
Smart girls are up.
Smart girls are
Brilliant
up and they're
girls.
stuck. But we'll now take a quick ad break and bring you some bizarre news stories when we get back.
Attention kids, we have some exciting news for you. We are back, and this year we are planning on going big. So listen up. If you are in grade 3, grade 2, grade 1 or pre-primary, we are bringing your free school workbooks to you soon. This is all you need to know about where you can find your books. Books will be available for free in Republican street sale newspapers and all Namibian Sun newspapers. And for all pre-primary kids out there, your books will be delivered to your school in all 14 regions of Namibia. And there's more. Pre-primary books will also be printed in 9 different languages. Check out when your book will be available from the schedule right here. That's not all. Our free online school is there to help you along the way with video lessons and more books to download. You can also follow along on NTV every Monday to Friday from 9:30 to 11:30 for your daily online school lesson. We thank all our sponsors who are helping to build a brighter future for Namibia. Contact us at info@acdtrust.com and follow us on Instagram.
In yet another bizarre airplane story, an airplane passenger was fined for urinating in a cup during deplaning delay. A passenger has been fined for urinating in a cup during a delay in deplaning after landing at Sydney Airport. The incident, after a 3-hour Air New Zealand flight from Auckland, occurred last December, and the Sydney court fined the 53-year-old man $395 for offensive behavior in February, officials said on Friday. The incident only came to public attention on Friday when New Zealand news website Stuff reported that a passenger in the same row, identified only as Holly, said she had reported the behavior to the air crew. She said she and her 15-year-old daughter were sitting in the aisle in middle seats when the man in the window seat, whose name has not been released, was urinating in a cup. Holly said the plane had been on the tarmac for about 20 minutes waiting for the terminal gate to be allocated when she heard the unmistakable sound of a passenger urinating in a cup, Stuff reported. She said the man was obviously quite drunk and spilled urine on a flight attendant as he left the plane, it reported. But the mishap with the attendant wasn't his crime. Australian Federal Police said in a statement that officers removed him from the plane because he had urinated into a cup while in his seat. Air New Zealand said it does not comment on individual incidents, and it said it bans between 5 and 10 customers each month for disruptive behavior, including intoxication.
That's so rude, this man.
That is very rude.
Like, firstly, there's a toilet on the plane. Why don't you, if you pee in the can or whatever you peed in, what did he pee in?
He peed in a cup.
Okay, if you pee in a cup, why don't you take your urine to the bathroom then and throw it out? Now you are spilling your urine on the flight attendant. We need to start a GoFundMe for flight attendants.
Like, honestly speaking, flight attendants are suffering. Like, you see their life and you think, oh, they're in a different city every 3 days. No. Being a flight attendant is not easy. I have a cousin who was a flight attendant for Qatar Airways, and she was like, yes, it may seem glamorous that every 3 days you literally travel across the world. Today you're in South Africa, in 3 days time you're in South Korea, in another 2 days you're in Italy, like things like that. Yes, that's fun. But the thing is, they arrive in these countries. you're already tired, right, from like this long haul flight. And then you have like a day or 2 days to see the city and the town. So most of them, like sometimes it's just like she would say, sometimes if it's a place I've been to before, I just won't bother going out because I want to rest. And they have like a rule that says, like they have like a curfew to say, before the next flight, I think you need to rest for, there's a certain number of hours, I forget now, but like even with the pilots, so they will call into your hotel room to check if you are there. Yes, they will actually call your hotel room to find out, are you in your room, are you sleeping, because you can't be going out.
Yo.
And even then, like in the air, you're meeting these rude passengers. People are urinating on you. People are throwing up on you. If someone throws up, you have to clean that up.
Ew.
And you have to pull that huge trolley giving people food. Would you like chicken or beef or vegetable, ma'am? Chicken, beef, or vegetable. Like, it's such a tedious thing. Like, it's only nice because you get to travel.
You gotta be patient.
You gotta be patient. And even the flight attendant training that they receive, it is gruesome.
Oh.
It is absolutely, because they have to learn how to open that airplane door in the case of an emergency. They do the flight simulations where they say, okay, fine, now the plane has landed in the ocean. What are you going to do? So they're throwing them in the pool, and you have to learn all of these things, first aid and whatnot. So it's not just as glamorous as we see it.
So I can't be a flight attendant if I can't swim.
You can't be.
Well,
You have to know how to swim, and you have to learn like the basics of basically, you open the flight door. What's going to happen if the plane lands in an ocean? You need to also save these people. So it's not easy.
But nonetheless, moving on to someone who is saving her own family, Beyonce's youngest daughter is getting an early start in a potential music career. The 6-year-old girl, whom the 42-year-old hitmaker and husband Jay-Z, 54, welcomed with twin brothers Say Carter, has broken the record of youngest female artist featured on Billboard Hot 100 single charts. Billboard revealed on Monday Rumi secured the honor at 6 years and 9 months when she appeared on Beyonce's song Protector, which is featured on her chart-topping new album Cowboy Carter. Her new record topples the previous record holder, her older sister Blue Ivy, now 12, who became the youngest female artist on the chart in 2019 when she appeared on her mother's brown skin girl at the age of 7. The tune, which peaked at number 76, was a collaboration among Beyonce, St. John, and Wizkid, and it was featured on her Kwasi soundtrack album for Lion King, The Gift. Rumi is featured at the start of the song, the fourth track on the album. The little girl left the singing and rapping to her mother, and she was instead featured in what sounds like a repurposed home recording. "Mom, can I hear the lullaby, please?" Rumi asked, hatingly pronouncing the last word as lullaby. Protector debut at number 42 on the Hot 100 and scored 11.3 million US streams in its opening week, according to Luminate. Although Rumi has displaced Blue Ivy's record on the Hot 100 chart, she won't be able to beat her older sister's record for being the youngest female artist to appear on any Billboard chart.
Put your kids on.
Yeah.
That's that on that.
Have money.
Have money. Moral of the story, have money. Put your kids on.
Yeah.
Done and dusted. I mean, Blue Ivy has a Grammy. She's a Grammy winner.
Imagine.
There are 40, 50-year-old people that have been in the music industry for so long, and they don't even have a Grammy.
That's why life is unfair.
Life is so unfair. But what can you do? Like we said,
some people are born in it.
if you're just born with a silver spoon in your mouth, there's nothing you can do.
Many are called, but a few are chosen.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
stop hating on people that were born with silver spoons in their mouth. It is what it is. There's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah, it's literally out of your control.
I saw something that said after the age of 30, you need to stop blaming your background for not being rich. after the age of 30, that's on you now. It's on you now. But anyway, that does bring us to the end of our top stories. Do let us know what your thoughts are on some of the stories that we shared today. Now, after the break, history and creativity will cross paths this week at the National Art Gallery of Namibia during the exhibition of the Artistic Research and Communal Knowledge Project, a collaboration between Namibia's museums and local artists whose engagement with archival communal knowledge and research of historic ornaments has inspired this exhibition. We spoke to the chief curator of the National Art Gallery of Namibia and Mr. Byron van Wyk, the exhibition's curator at National Art Gallery of Namibia. Take a look.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Today we are chatting all things arts and culture. The National Art Gallery of Namibia and the National Museum of Namibia are in collaboration of a one-of-a-kind project. And here to give us the details are the Chief Curator at the National Art Gallery of Namibia, Ms. Ndenda Shivute Nakapunda, and the Exhibition Curator, Master Byron van Wyk. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. How
Very
are
well.
you?
I am fantastic. All right, let's talk about the artistic research communal knowledge, reconnecting with retained cultural belongings. Tell us about this project and the impact that you are trying to have with this project.
Okay, so this project, which we've titled in short ARC, basically is building on top of a larger project called Confronting Colonial Pasts, Envisioning Creative Futures, a project that was run by the Museums Association of Namibia in partnership with quite a few other institutions, where they repatriated 23 objects from the Berlin Ethnological Museum. They've developed a massive project around this, where they've got master's degree programs that are running. They developed the Museum of Namibian Fashion, and a variety of other things. So the National Art Gallery came on board with a project in partnership with the National Museum to unlock these 23 objects. We contracted 5 artists, we contracted 7 community researchers, and together they have gone out in the community, spoken to people alongside the museum staff to find out what are these objects, what are these cultural belongings, what do they mean, what were they used for, who made them, when were they made, are they still in use today, and what can we use them for going forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could you please walk us through the process of what exactly, or how exactly everything is going to happen, and also maybe how this collaboration came about? Did you just send emails? Did you kring the people? How did the whole thing happen? Yeah.
So no, I think it was a very organic process. This project is very experimental to a certain extent. It's not rigid in the way that it's working. We had a plan that we wanted certain players, but as things go, and as Byron will also expand on, things don't always go as planned.
Yes. Somehow you need to improvise.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand that the aim is to create a safe space for Namibian artists based on engagement with archival communal knowledge. Why is this so important?
I think because of the difficult past we come from concerning colonialism, And I mean, many of the topics that these artists covered stretches across the period before German colonialism to South African colonialism. And it's also talking back to some of the colonial views that were there and still persist today, you know, and taking ownership over cultural heritage, you know, because a lot of the messages that went into colonialism in Namibia was to say that, you know, some of these cultural practices were not accepted. So in that way, the gallery is now saying, but, you know, this has been part of us, you know, it's not something that we can change, we have to embrace it, you know.
What I appreciate so far about this project is the fact that it has some educational aspects to it. We get to learn history. Our artists now know some of the things that happened way before our time. Why is it important that you have educational partners on this project? I understand that you are working or collaborating with the University of Namibia. Why is that important? And also maybe you can talk to us about more of your partners.
Okay, so I'll touch on the partners that we have. I think that, like I said, we're slotting into a bigger project. So the bigger project has already so many partners, and we've just kind of added on to that. Our funders, I'll start with our Gerda Henkel Foundation in Germany. The art project specifically was co-funded by the Heinrich Boll Foundation, the Cape Town office. And then we've got the Ethnological Museum where the objects came from. And then the University of Bonn now, because one of our co-leads on the project is also working there. And then locally, our partners are the National Art Gallery, the National Museum, the Museums Association of Namibia, the University of Namibia, and then we've also kind of hired other professionals like Joe Vision, who's doing the documentary on the process. We've got Willem Frey doing photography. So we've got multiple people working, and I think the education aspect to it is important because we are rediscovering, kind of like Byron said, what these objects are, and we don't want to keep that information locked up in an archive. We really want to create access, and the people who have access to minds who are willing to unpack are the universities. And even the way that we're setting up the exhibition, it's really a space where we're inviting people to come in. As the viewer, you're not just viewing, but we're asking you to bring your knowledge and come and give that knowledge and share that knowledge with the broader public. So there's going to be engagement boards, notepads, sticky notes. Come and give your thoughts. Tell us what you know. What stories do you have about this calabash or tortoise shell or what other belongings that we've got?
Well, that was quite the episode, but before we say our goodbyes, On the Rocks Namibia is a locally produced broadcast showcasing and promoting the beauty of Namibia and its people. Be sure to catch it every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. on all NMH platforms and NTV channels, DSTV 285, GoTV channel 25. So here's a sneak peek of what you can expect on today's episode.
And guess where the wind has blown me to? Right here with me, my very, very young, energetic co-host, Jemima. Tell us about yourself.
Well, my name is Jemima Ndebele, as beautifully introduced by you, Otis. And I'm so excited to be hosting you here in the Khomas region.
Great to be here.
Yes,
Great to be
where
here.
we find ourselves at Droombos.
Yes, Droombos, the place to be. So, Jemima, we arrived here in a very expensive vehicle, courtesy of who?
Enjoy Namibia.
What's Enjoy about?
Well, Enjoy is basically your one-stop shop for all your traveling itinerary needs.
Yes.
If you are looking to book accommodation, if you're looking to book activities, or even just find a nice restaurant to dine at, with family whenever you're traveling, Enjoy Namibia has got you covered. You can visit them on www.enjoy.my.na to make your next booking for whenever you are traveling.